This is tea time. Yeah, making a difference. One cup at a time. Tea time. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time. Making a difference. One cup at a time. Tea time. Yeah. Tea time.
Well, welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right. We are here for our Thursday show at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I believe it is 9 p.m. where Bernadette is. So we got different time zones. She's coming in all the way from Austria. That's right. We're traveling the world today. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your glass of juice, water. You do not need to drink tea on Tea Time with Miss Liz because we do not serve the beverage. We serve storytelling and words and bring awareness to different incredible individuals across the globe. So we're going to get you over to Miss Liz's YouTube channel. Ring that little doorbell, and you can watch these tea times at any time in your home, in your car, at a family gathering, at an event. If you know, Miss Liz is there to pick up the spirits whenever you need it. So, and there's topics from all walks of life on Tea Time with Miss Liz. So let's get the disclaimer. Let's get a little bit of bio from Bernadette, and we're going to get Bernadette in here. And we're going to start serving some tea from Austria today, and I'm incredibly honored to have Bernadette here. So the disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live show. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith. However, it may bring forth dialogues and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the giving time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment and taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussions for some where they may be emotionally at risk. It's significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutical advice unless we have a special guest like we have today. If you have any questions about disclaimers or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Ms. Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in any show in any aspect, I myself, Ms. Liz, welcomes you. And should you decide that the show is not made for you at this time, I respect those wishes and we'll see you at a later show at a later date and time. And again, all Tea Time shows, regular shows, are done on Thursday, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it's done on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it's a surprise or a special returning guest or rescheduled tea time. So now a little bit on my guest. She's patiently waiting in the back. And yes, we're a few minutes late because, technical issues. We have two different countries and we have to figure stuff out sometimes. But we're here, both of us. And I'm really happy and honored again to have her here. So a little bit on my guest. Bernadette Bruckner is a dramatic and versatile expert who has successfully navigated multiple fields both in Austria and beyond. With over 30 years of experience, Bernadette's journey through corporate communications, marketing, human resources, and various other businesses sectors have equipped her with a wealth of knowledge. She's a publisher, holistic, intuitive health manager, nutrition and sports trainer, international speaker and Amazon bestselling author, founder of Nutritional Work Orientation. I hope I'm saying it right, but I'm going to get her to say it. Flourish Soul, Mind, and Body. Developer of her own coaching and therapy form, IMM Intuitive Mentoring Method, with Coaching to Go and 4-Question Method. And developer of the Resilience Method and co-founder of Mash Institute. So let me get Bernadette in here and we'll get her to say anything I've said incorrectly for you guys out there. Well, welcome, Bernadette.
Hello.
Go ahead, dear.
Sometimes I have the feeling I have to change the names what I created because it's so hard to pronunciation. But it's always a story behind, It's always something. When you create something, you like, how can I call it? How can I call it what I'm actually doing? And regarding Orinition, it's called Orinition, and it's actually a shortcut from original nutrition.
Oh, well, look at
That's
that.
that that's the backstory, because the main work actually with Orinition is not about giving advices about food, but to bring the people back to listen to their own body. I call it body intelligence, and that's why I call it Orinition.
Oh, well,
So
and
that's backstory.
and Bernadette, it's always good to have different languages and different traditions out there, and it's good for us to learn too as well. And that's why I like to reach out to global guests, because I'd like to learn a little bit from them, a different language, a different tradition, different way of pronouncing things, and that teaches us as well, right? So all the listeners
Yes.
out there can learn as well. So Bernadette, I'm going to take you back to when you were a little girl. Who was Bernadette as a little girl, and who is Bernadette now?
That's always a difficult question, because it's always I'm questioning myself many, many times, because my belief is that we actually don't know who we are. And when I go back to my childhood, I'm coming from a bakery. I grew up actually with our guests. So we had a bake we had a bake we don't have it anymore. We had a bakery and a cafe,
Okay.
a coffee shop, and I grew up actually with our guests there. And we had very different guests. We have old, I don't want to say old people. I have my age also, but we had many, many people who came on daily basis with very different stories. And I still love sitting next to the people, and I'm convinced that I'm the person today because of the stories I heard from many, many people, and a lot of challenging stories as well. And I just liked it. I still like sitting next to people and just listen. And there is a movie, and because you said from the global part, there's a movie, very famous movie. It's actually a German movie. I have no idea if it's ever was translated or not, but it's from the author. There's a book with it from the author Michael Ende, and the movie called Momo. And I grew up with this movie, and as child, you just I just like movies. And she was sitting there and also listening to people. And for me, it's still the biggest gift. And this is probably the reason why I became a coach, and going into direction of the psychotherapist. I think it's a gift when people open up and telling you stories, because a lot of stories, there are a lot of challenges in there, and I still like listen to the people. And this is one of many. We also had people with alcoholic challenges, problems, and also other problems. And for me, it's I think being healthy is one of the greatest gifts what we have, and having also the possibilities to live our life and our dreams what we have, because I think it's not common, not yet, and not a lot of people can do it. So in my opinion, it's a privilege. And this is one of many reasons why I became who I am, because my dream job actually was animal keeper. And today
Oh,
I say I didn't become an animal keeper because my mom, I still remember, she said to me, learn something useful. And I'm like, okay, mom. So so I studied and just worked in the economy, and making kind of a career and all the things. But for me, it was like just, nurturing people. I just like, and instead of I still like animals, but I didn't become an animal keeper. I always say I'm a human keeper. I
well,
just
and it goes right back to the stories, right? We have
Mhm,
to share stories in order to understand one another.
mhm.
It's the only way that we're going to understand each other in different countries and different cultures and different languages is when we listen to the stories, because stories is what's making the difference in the world. you,
Yes.
you know through movies, through arts, through music, through conversations like this. That's what makes the difference. So Bernadette, how did you get into nutrition?
Um, it's good. I think it's because of the bakery. I think because of the bakery. And actually, one of the key points that I studied afterwards nutrition and became a nutrition trainer was I was overweight and I became anorexia because I was working in the wrong company and I stopped eating.
Oh,
Some people begin to eat and I just stopped eating, and I lost within, I think it was within a year, because it's so many years, it was within a year more than yeah, it was approximately 20 kilos.
wow.
um, and it was not healthy. But for me, as a high sensitive person, I understood that when you have mental health challenges, your body reacts on you, and you react, and it's because it's a kind of a compensation to do something what you have no idea and no place on a other way to express it. And as I'm not, I was not the biggest talker as child. I'm really a good listener still, but I didn't talk a lot. And I just stopped eating, and didn't talk. I had no one to talk about
Yeah.
because I was working in a really good. I liked the work. It was possible to travel around the globe and work in different subsidiaries in this big company, but I was challenging a lot of, I don't want to say hate, but it was like, I was a woman. I got a huge challenge being in a role what was probably not seen from many people, and I didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like it, and I could do things maybe which, I don't want to say, but yeah, it's like pissed off other people. And so I was not the most like the person in this company, but I still believe I did a good work, and it was a really nice work. But yes, the role of women in this company was not the best one. See.
Well, I want to get into that because in Austria, how are women looked at in leading jobs?
It's getting more and more, because in Austria we have, I think it's a political restriction where we have a kind of a quote, what companies have to fulfill. It's like a female quote, being in high positions in management. And it's sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working. We are still in a patriarchy, but it's becoming better and better. And for me, it's like I see myself as feminist. I support for more than 20 years women, especially mompreneurs, because I always had the privilege that I got supported in many companies. And for me, it's like the same again. I think it's not common, so I see it as privilege, and support many also in my spare time and for free, because I think, in my deepest belief is, the future is female. And but we still struggle. I remember, because I was always, I'm born as Leo. So I have birthday in August, and for me it's like I always was like, I always knew what I want to do. Yeah. And sometimes it's not seen. So when I was in a really good position, management position, and in a better position, I got a lot of different beliefs about women and about strong women. And for me, it was, I became insecure. I was like, is it that not normal that I want to have my place in this world and do whatever I like because I'm a human being and I want to do what I want to do. And it seems like, no. Okay. And it was really, really interesting. And I became insecure because people in the management position gave me a lot of bad feelings about who I am as woman, as Austrian, the same, especially in Germany. It was really interesting. We still have the German Austrian hate thing, hate love relationship. And it was confusing for me because
Yeah.
this is something I never experienced before. And this was one of many reasons why I became highly suicide in this company, and I stopped eating because I was like, I was confused. It was not, it was something I never experienced. And I got so much hate even when the people didn't know me, because it was a toxic environment back there, and this was so confusing for me. I was a really strong woman, and I have we say it. I'm not quite sure if it's the right English word for it, but I have a big mouth. So I really can, when someone is like, has a gives me a contra, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really good in it, but I
Yeah.
lost it there. And when I came back, and I was 20 kilos less, and really in a burnout and highly suicide, and my doctor, who knew me since childhood, saw me. He was like, his jaw was like, what happened with you? And because I didn't realize it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was in the last stage of burnout, and the last stage of burnout is depersonalization, and I had to get my pieces back again. And for me, today I see it as true gift to recognize more and more who I am, but to go back again and reflect everything. I was like, what happened there? I'm a strong woman. I really have a big mouth, but I lost everything, and this was so confusing for me. So that I said to myself, okay, whatever happened there, I love the life there. I love the business life. I love what I did there, but I lost my health. I lost my confidence, and I got so confused about what people can make with me that I said, okay, I have to learn something there. I have to learn to be who I am actually, what is important for me, what is my vision, and how get I back to my strongness again.
Yeah.
And yes, it took many, many lives, many, many years, sorry, many, many years, lives sometimes, yes, but many, many years to understand that people can break me when I have no idea who I am. And this was so important for me. And I still believe that all the life challenges, what we get, is something that we understand ourselves again, to go back to our core, who we are. And this is one of many reasons why I support, even when I had challenging times. For me, it was always important to support women, because this is something what we sometimes get socialized, and also get confronted with so many uh, triggers and so many prejudices, which comes out from a society which is not healthy. And this is one of many reasons why I'm today I'm supporting people, academic people, and also still women. And doesn't matter if they whatever education level they have, and also especially mompreneurs, because we also have in Austria, I don't know how's it in your country, but we still have poverty. Poverty is a huge topic, more and more. And for me, my heart is breaking when children don't have the possibilities to get their education, and the field what they actually need for nurturing, that they can blossom up.
Well, and we need examples, right? Stories like yours, Bernadette. Where you show people where you were, how you transform, and where you are today, right? And having that big mouth is sometimes good, because I have a big
Yes.
mouth too, and and I think it's just being straightforward, because you go through so much in life that you're just like, I'm not going to stay quiet anymore. I don't
Yes.
think it's about being rude or anything. I think it's just being straightforward. No more sugarcoating things. Let's find solutions. Let's move forward, right? and
Yes.
and that's what you've done with your life, is you've just moved forward, and all the incredible things that you've done over the last 30 years, like publishing books and managing and
Yes.
being a coach and mentoring. You taken your pain and turned it into a purpose, and that's where we really see transformation with everyone,
Yes.
is when we take the pain and we turn it into something good.
And the interesting thing is, my biggest motivation is actually rage. When
Oh,
I'm getting really, really angry about something, because I'm
like
actually an introvert
your
person.
passion.
Yes, but I'm actually an introvert person. So for me, it's a huge challenge and going out from my comfort zone to be on different podcasts, to teach in front of people. This is for me so challenging sometimes. And like my motivation is rage, because I saw so many people on stage and were like, no, 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 that's bullshit what they are saying. Yeah. And I you
I
know,
love it, Bernadette.
and
I love it.
sometimes they are not going deep inside, and they're not going into action. And I'm like, how can you be on stage and you are not going into action for something? And this is truly my motivation,
Yeah,
to go out there, to go out of my comfort zone. And even when it's uncomfortable so many times, and I begin more and more to love teaching and to be on stage, because I force myself to be on stage. I force myself, and for me, it's like I'm a little nerd in getting information and everything else, and I love to talk to people and sitting there and listen. And I'm like, I have so much to say, and I want to say it, and I began for a couple of years. It's actually because of my PhD topic, health framing, and because of my rage. I'm still going on, because there is so much to do out there, and so much as more as I'm going out there, I see there are so many people who have struggles the same, who wants to do something, who have big visions and have no idea how to do it. And this is one of many reasons why I'm going out, I want to say the most thing, especially those who challenges with life and thinking and suicide. And no, life is good out there. You are not alone.
yeah.
And there are so many people who have same or similar topics, and most of the time they don't get hurt. Just whatever your motivation is, my motivation was rage, and it's still rage, by the way. It's still rage. And
I
I'm
love
like,
the
and
transparency because
sometimes, you know,
there's so many people out there that is afraid of that transparency. You're coming out and you're saying, you know what really turns me on is rage, and I bring the
yes,
passion, and I bring the,
yes,
and I'm like you. I see so many people speaking flutter butterflies. That's what I call them, flutter
yeah,
butterflies,
mhm,
because what they're speaking they don't believe, or they're not
yes,
living, but they
and
want to
it,
preach it to you. They want to coach
yes,
you with that,
exactly,
but they're not doing it themselves, right?
exactly.
And I think it's passion. Your rage is passion, Bernadette. It's
It's
like,
another
let's
framing
go.
word for it. But for me, one of the, and that's so interesting regarding my nutrition work, um, because I like walk the talk. And if I'm not walking, I can't talk about it. And I had a moment where my nutrition was so bad, fast food and all the things what I it's what is not healthy. And I know it's not healthy. But for this time, I needed it, or
Yeah,
I didn't find another solution like this. And I was like, I can't teach it anymore, because I'm teaching or training other nutrition trainers. I'm like, no, no, I can't teach it because I don't live it. And for me, it's like I need this as back. So for me, this authentic walk the talk is so important. I can't teach anything out there what I'm not living. Is it sometimes weird? Yes, maybe for you, not for me,
yeah,
because I have to, for me, it has to be authentic. Because, as you said, I saw so many flabbing talkers who only do it because they get money out of it.
yeah,
They can do whatever they don't. It's not mine.
yeah.
And this is one of the reasons. And maybe I have to say thank you actually to these people, because of them I have so much rage that I'm going out of
And
it.
the
Yeah,
rage is bringing this
yeah.
to the table.
And this, and yeah,
Bernadette,
but
we need this. I'm my best. Like when I'm hot-headed, that's when I get my best results, because then
yes, me too.
passion is there. And I'm just like, why is there not a solution? Why is everybody just talking, 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 but nobody's walking? Like, I get so frustrated with it. And then I'm
Yes,
just like, you know what? Not everyone's going to be my cup of tea. Not everybody's going to understand what I'm doing either. And it's okay to be different. It's okay to stand up and have that passion, have that rage. you know we need people like us as well, Bernadette, to make that difference. Because if we just say yes, it's okay, yes, we'll do it, we're going to become these flutter butterflies that don't believe in what we're serving. And then
Mhm.
we lose the passion and we lose the purpose and we don't want to serve it anymore. We get angry with ourselves, right?
Yes, and actually unhappy. And this is something, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do because I nearly died 4 times. I was really high suicide. The only reason why I not did it back then, because I was in France back then, was the only reason I can't do it because of my mom. I still it's more than 20 years and I still remember it. And it was good that I didn't do it, but I was unhappy, and I'm like, no, I'm a happy person. I always was a happy child. I always have. I know I have a weird humor. I know I have a black humor, but it's my humor. But and this is something. Even when there is stress out there, I begin to sing. I begin to make jokes and everything else to make it easier. That's me. So my basic is humor. And this is my resilience. I still believe it. It's my resilience, and I'm a person who just does a lot. Yes, for many people, because yesterday it was the same again. When she saw my CV, she was like totally overwhelmed, and I'm like, but that's me. I'm a person, I have 24 hours 7. I want to use my time very, very good because I know my vision. I have a very clear vision. And the last time I nearly died was because of a car accident. And I still believe this car accident was not normal because I didn't have any insurance, nothing. The car was totally broken. It was on the highway, but I had nothing, nothing, nothing. And for me, it was like the next call, and I was like, no, now I don't make any side steps anymore. I want to go my way, the way I love to do it. And I know I will well, have a lot of people who get uncomfortable with me because I have so much energy. And I'm just doing a lot. And I'm like, why don't you do it? Why not using your time wisely?
Right. Exactly.
And you can't
I get asked
judge me
that question
because
all the
I'm
time,
doing it.
Bernadette, right? Like you get to ask that a lot when you're doing stuff all the time. People are like, well, when do you do other stuff? Well, this is what I want to do. This is my
Yes,
passion. This is my
yes,
purpose.
yes,
You know, uh, and the ones that are saying, well, why are you doing all this are the ones that don't want to do anything, but they want the credit for everything. You know,
yes.
they'll slide in and they'll say, oh, well, I did this or I did that. And that, you know, I,
And and for me, it's so important to use my time wisely because I know it can be done any minute. And this is something. This was definitely because of the car accident. This was a wake up call. And for me, I have at the moment so many cool people around me because the most interesting part is when you go your vision and you talk about it, you walk your talk, you will always have helping hands around. And they are
absolutely.
coming, they are here. And because they have the burning inside, but most of the time they have no idea the how. This week I have some and I just love my work, what I'm doing. I'm actually on a university level and teaching, and also have mentorings, and I just love it because there are so many people out there who have big visions and sometimes have no idea how to do it, the small steps. And I'm like, I know how to do it because I'm a project manager. I support you because this is something out of passion again,
Yep.
what I do for 20 years. When I meet cool people who have a really great vision, I love to best possible, yeah, love to support them. And also I have also a own radio show and a TV. I get my TV show. They bring the people in Austria because we have so many brilliant people there, and I just love to get them seen and heard with their stories to support each other. And I think, as you do, you actually give a platform that people can be seen, and that we inspire each other.
Yep. Well,
And
and you know,
just beautiful.
I was just gonna mention your radio show, Bernadette, because I found the radio show and I was like, oh, this is
Okay,
so cool.
but it's only in German. It's only in German.
but that's okay because the
Yes.
people in German are getting your voice, Bernadette. You
Yeah.
know,
It's
and
just
today Canada is getting your voice, and you like the global. You're on an international podcast. It's getting your voice. You know, baby steps. It's not
Yes.
always, and that's why I reached out to you, is because I want to have the voices from different countries. I want to learn from what you're going through, what you're experiencing, because I want people to understand that it's not just in Canada that we suffer mental illness or grief
No,
or
no.
abuse or trauma. It's worldwide. And that's why I
Yes.
reach out to worldwide guests,
Yeah.
because I want to show everybody that we're all going through something and we all can make that difference, right? When we sit
Yes.
together and have a conversation. And today our conversation is tea. So I want to get into your tea. So the three words you
Yes.
gave me, Bernadette, were teaching, uh, autistic, and action. Did I say the E word right?
Yes. Enthusiastic.
There we go. So and then tell me why those three words.
For me, it was really interesting to get your tea. What means tea for you? And I'm like, okay, what is it actually? For me, teaching is a way to inspire others. I had today a really brilliant group again, and we were talking about conflicts. And I'm like, most of them, they're future leaderships in companies and also managers. And for me, it's like I can support them and nurture them to get them a different view about what leadership can be and how you can handle conflicts, because I'm in mediation. So that's something what I know, what I can, and give them the knowledge that the world can be different to what it is today or what they experienced before, especially in companies, because it's probably worldwide also a topic in companies, a toxic leadership, and they have all the experience, and I'm like, yes, but it's not normal. How can we
Yeah,
disrupt it and bring it to the next level, that we can work together and have fun with it, actually? And this is for
absolutely.
me one way of many to support as much as possible. And I'm teaching as in different institutions, and I want to definitely teach way much more because I see the benefit in it.
Well, I'm
That's
so
why
glad
you
that
got
you understand the tea, because when I ask the questions to the guests, what is your tea? They think of a beverage right away. And that's not what we're doing. We do storytelling and words, right? And I'm glad that you went deep with your tea, because your tea actually shares who you are as an individual, your
yes,
passion, the purpose, the rage, everything is there, right? The teaching, inspiring others by being true and authentic, right? Is by
yes,
teaching.
exactly. Yeah, and
It's not
and
always
having fun with it together.
absolutely. So, and tell me a little bit about the other two words that you gave me. Uh,
Yes, enthusiastic. Enthusiastic.
enthusiastic. There, I can say it.
For me, I'm not quite sure if it's because of my story, because I nearly died a couple of times. My humor is my strong, and my enthusiastic, positive view of life. And that's why I choose enthusiastic, because I was also thinking, okay, I had many crises already, I had many challenges time already. I actually have begin to get excited when there is kind of a stress there, because a project has to be finished or something like that. And for me, I don't want to say I'm the clown in with my colleagues, but I'm definitely the one who cheers up many people. And this is I believe it's a gift, and that's why I choose the word enthusiastic.
I love it. Even though I struggle to say it, I love it. And the last word you gave me was actions. So why
Yes,
action?
because I'm a doer person. For me, it's like I love theory. I love going to university. I love creating a lot of mind dreams and everything else. But it becomes for me then important when I can bring it into action. And that's how my room looks like. By the way, there's everywhere some kind of action thing. So I'm doing I'm truly and thank God I know the tools of project management to bring things on the ground or to earth, and bring it into action. But I'm a scanner, so I'm always interested in a lot of things which is kind of challenging to finish a project. And therefore I built up a team who supports me to truly bring the end stuff finished, because this is truly a challenge for me, and I know it, and therefore I know who I need, that we can bring out my stuff. And that's why for me, to bring things in action is one of the most important thing for me. Otherwise, all my models, everything what I created, are nice but worthless when I cannot bring it into action. And sometimes I need longer to bring things into action because of my scanner type. But with the teams I get more and more together, they are so fast and bringing my stuff, and they can handle me. This is something what is, yeah, they can handle all the different thoughts and stuff and everything else what I want to do. And therefore I'm very grateful that I found people who support me to bring truly my visions into action.
So, Bernadette, are you like a big, deep researcher, observer, analyze everything? Like, why is this yellow? Why is that blue? Are you that type of person?
Sometimes, yes, I definitely. I give you an example. I'm actually looking for a bookkeeping program. I'm looking for it already for, I think, 3 years, because I have to check which all the programs out there and which is the best, what fits for my work.
Yeah.
And the interesting part is, lucky me that I need that long, because now I found the project, and it's actually from an Austrian company who has exactly what I need for my future therapist and coaching companies, and they bring everything together. And I'm like, sometimes it's good that I need that long. Sometimes, yeah, it's not the best way, but for me, yes, I'm not getting into very deep, because for me it's like getting the overview is more interesting and more
Yeah.
fun. But I get from every single different topics and knowledge, so that I can bring it together. So I'm really good in trans and interdisciplinary work and projects.
So, Bernadette, are you more of a visionary, like, or a doer?
Yes,
Like you have to see it in order to do
yes,
it.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, because
I'm very,
I
very
when I get a
visionary.
lot of people that send me like paperwork or something, read it and then try to understand. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm understanding this. But if I see somebody doing it or saying it, then I can
Mhm,
pronounce it, I can say it, and I can do it.
mhm,
But if you give me a book and you just say read the book and follow the book, I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here.
mhm.
Are you
I'm a,
that? Are
I'm
you
a,
that kind?
yes, and I'm also fan of mind mapping. So before I'm also writing articles, and before I can begin to write something, I have to make my mind map, so that I know how to bring it together. And the most interesting is, I love digital stuff. I'm social media and everything, but the first ideas I have to write down by hand.
Pen and paper.
Everything. Yes, exactly. Because it's way much easier for me. I can show you. This will become my health magazine, but I have to print it out to order to read it correctly and correct everything. And then can I put it on as a on PDF online.
Yeah, that makes a
And
lot of sense. Because I'm the
and
same way. It's all pen and paper. I think it processes in the brain
yes,
a little
way much
stronger
better.
as well, right? When
Yes,
you're
exactly.
writing it out and you're putting it
Yes,
onto the paper, you're like, okay, now it's processing because it's your handwriting, right? It's you
yes.
putting it into your words. So it's easier to understand the vision.
The biggest problem actually is, I would write way much more by hand, but my brain is so fast that when I write it on the computer, I'm faster. But
Sometimes you're missing
my hand
words, right?
doesn't. Yes,
We're like, your
exactly.
grammar
My
really
hand
sucks. I'm
doesn't know
like,
how to write that fast. Yeah,
because our brain has already said like 10 words, but we're
yeah.
typing 3 words and we're like, oh, no, then we got to
There
go
was
back.
something. Yes, exactly. And still, I didn't found any computer yet who is that fast. What I have in my brain. So
I
I'm
think
looking
one
the
day,
the quant.
Bernadette,
Yes, I
one
know
day.
the quant. quantum computer. That's why. That's, by the way, I love ChatGPT. It's so interesting how fast it's processing everything, and I get so much more done because I'm also working a lot with ChatGPT. We get my ideas, and I'm like, ooh, I can be faster with way much more stuff and
You
doing
ever try to
everything else.
race that? Ever try to race GPT with typing?
Hmm?
It's amazing how fast it gives you so much information, right?
Yes,
When you
yes,
do it, and then your mind is
yes,
like, can I do it faster? Can I give you faster, right? Because
yes,
I'm always arguing with the GP and T. I'm always like, rejuvenate, give me more, give me more, give me more,
yes,
right? Like it's like a conversation that I just want to have. And
yes.
when I'm done with the GPT, I always say thank you for helping me today.
Yes, me
And
too. I'm totally because I'm so happy, and I always say it, to ChatGPT, I'm so happy that I have you, because at the moment I'm writing truly a book with ChatGPT about gamification, because I do gamification with my mentees, with my trainees, and they love it. I love gamification, and I'm like, I do a lot with ChatGPT to prepare it, and I'm like, ChatGPT, do you want to write with me a book? And it likes it, and I'm like, I like it that you like it, and then we just begin to, to write it. And I think it's just a cool, especially a person like me who is a scanner, who doesn't bring things down, but to get organized, and also a speedy what I am, to really bring the stuff out there. And I just like it. And also and that's what I want to give all our audience. Please, every one of you, and I'm pretty sure every one of you has a lot of gifts out there, a lot of ideas. Please give them to also give the others your gifts to the
yeah,
world
don't
to
hide
make it
them.
a better. Yes, exactly. And there are so many. It doesn't cost a lot. For my radio, a lot of stuff is actually for free. I mean,
Yep.
ChatGPT is for free, and my radios, I really have the radio studio what I can use in Salzburg, and I pay in 1 year 30 euros. That's nothing, and
Yep.
it's high quality and everything else. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
And we have so many possibilities what actually the internet and digitalization brings to us, that we can truly live our life and fulfill our dreams. And I'm sure it's also good for the health, when you can do and fulfill your dreams what you have, and your visions what you have, and bring out your things and your knowledge to the world. It's just beautiful, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people can gift for it.
Absolutely. And I'm with you. Don't hold your gifts back. If you're
Yes,
scared of being different and unique, don't be scared. Just try it. Just go out and do it. And a lot of things, like you said, Bernadette, are free or a little
yes,
investment, and instead of investing in a bunch of different people, invest in yourself. Invest in your gift. Bring your gift to the table. And I found something on your website that I really love, and it's called You Plus Us Equals Unique. I love that.
yes,
I love the word unique because we don't share enough uniqueness in the world today.
yes.
So,
That
how did you come up with that phrase?
I have, how should I say it? When I write my books, I do intuitive writing. So I get into myself and get my place, and sometimes I just feel it that the words have to pop out. I had times where I have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just only writing. And for me, it's like only in the we. I have now the hashtag we some, not awesome, but we some, that we together can create so much more, so much beautiness out there. And it actually comes because I'm listening to other people, and we are unique, and that should be a gift. Because I still remember when the others complained about me because I'm too loud, because I'm too bold, and I'm too honest. Yeah. And for me it's like, why do they make me small? And my conclusion is actually, or my hypothesis is actually, because they never got the space to be unique.
Yep.
And I know that all of us, because of our stories what we have, are unique anyway.
Yep.
and this makes everything so special. And when we recognize that we can wisdom together and can create together something bigger, and I have my tribe, and everyone wants to do something, and I'm like, yes, let's do it, let's do something. Yeah, bring things into action,
Yep.
because it only can be for the higher good.
Absolutely. I want to get into, before we're running out of time here, we got only a few minutes left. I want to get into the 4-question method that I found on your
Yes,
websites.
yes.
What is that about?
I got inspired by Byron Katie. Byron Katie, everyone knows. And I'm like, I like the idea. I like the simpleness in methods, because my deepest belief is everything what is complicated is man-made, and everything what is simple is divine. And therefore, at the moment, there are actually not 4 questions anymore. There are only 2, and it's
Oh,
it's it's actually because we a lot of things is in this our subconsciousness drinnen. The, to change something, we have to bring the subconscious topics, what we intuitive maybe know but cannot grab because it's subconscious, we can bring into consciousness, then we can change it. And a lot of things what we learned actually from others but not ours. So the first question is it ours or from someone else? And the second question, what I always ask also people is, um, what is not ours, we can we don't actually have to care because it's not ours. And when you take psychology, or from Sigmund Freud, the iceberg model, then it's actually 5 to 10% is conscious, but what we overtook is most of the time from other people, and they say 1% is ours and 99% is from other people, because we got trained, we got conditioned, and we are, I always say, we are conglomerate of other people. Do you actually know who you are? And the biggest and the nicest journey is actually to discover yourself. And we don't that we actually know who we are, and what are our dreams. So the second question is, what can I learn from it? Is there a learning lesson in there? What can I learn from it? Because in every challenge, and this is actually a point of view, or a view of the constructivism, Paul Watzlawick, there are a lot of people who say, how real is reality? That's the most classic sentence ever. And Paul Watzlawick was from Austria, but he got very famous in Palo Alto in America. And for me, it makes a lot of sense, because when you begin to be in conflict with other people, or discuss with other people, of course, they have a different view, a different reality out of their own stories. We cannot have their own, but we can, through being open, and getting inspired from the others, through question, through good listening, that we understand that we are different, and that we are unique, and we some, that when we get together, that we can create something more. And when you learn something out of it, then the subconscious becomes conscious. And as more as I'm working with people with these questions, and out of the 4, I truly have 2. This is what can I learn from it? What is my learning lesson? And is it mine or from other people? And as more I'm becoming aware that most of what I believe is true is actually from other people, what I learned, then I begin. Then I can question it. That's why I have one hashtag is disrupt everything. What if we question everything what we ever learned in our life? Then we can
I like
actually,
questioning everything, because I find if
yes,
we don't question, how do we learn? How do we change things?
yes,
Right?
yes,
We just say, "Oh no, that's okay. Oh well, that's good. That's good." I'm not going to question why you're doing that. I'm not going to question why we have to do this. You know, then we become robotic. We become programmed, right?
yes, we are. If you see globally all the conflicts, most of the conflicts is because they never questioned what actually is coming. Where does the conflict come from? Do we
Yep.
need this conflict? What is actually about the conflict? And why we have the conflict? And how can we solve it in a more peaceful way? No one is questioning. I'm like, why is everything just saying yes to it. I never understood. But I
Yeah.
never understood it as child either.
Yeah.
I still remember. So I was really a bold child, even when I'm an introvert. But I question everything. I still remember when I was in how do I think it's preschool. You call it in English. We had we had religion, and I was questioning. Okay, first we had something about evolution. Then you say something about Adam and Eve. So what is what is now right? And
Right.
I still remember he said to me, "Don't only silly people ask questions." As grown up, I know he had no answer for it, but he
Absolutely.
actually he said to me that I was too dull for it, and that's why I'm questioning it.
Yeah.
So we have to disrupt the school system, the health system, the political system, everything, because sometimes it's out of something totally mm, uh, 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 old fashioned. If I take our in Austria, the school system, it's actually coming from 200 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not this, we don't need this system anymore. Times changed. So we have to have different school system, different, not school, but education system, because we all love to learn. I always said to one of my best friends, I will be, when I'm old, I will still want to go to the university and learn something, because there's so much cool knowledge out there, and I just want to know it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
not
like
enough
that.
time.
I'm like that person that's always looking for more information, researching everything, questioning everything, disrupting everything, and saying, I don't know about that. And I'm with you, Bernadette. The school systems need to change. If there's a saying, I forget who said it, maybe it was Einstein. If you keep repeating the same thing, that's insanity, right? So if we keep following the systems for 200 years today, that's insanity. We're not making any growth. We're not making any changes, right?
No.
We're just staying the same. So I love that you said disrupt, because that's that little rebel in us, I think, that goes out and says, ruffles those feathers and says, why are you doing this?
Yes.
And like
Yes.
you said, your teacher said you're just asking silly questions. It's because he didn't have an answer. Instead of just saying, you
Yes.
know what, I don't have an answer for you, you know?
Find out yourself. Children are curious, and curiosity gives you the motivation to get way much more out there, to see different the world. I think I love children. I love talking with children, because they see the world so much different. And you see, by the way, true innovation comes from children, comes from young people, not from those who are doctor something,
Yeah,
because they got so much uh, uh, um, how do you say it, so much in the school system, that they believe this is the only way, but it's not. And as
yeah,
more as we introduce or just how do you say it, that you give them all the old information, they believe this is the only truth, but it's not. And there's more, and that's my even when I love to be on university, by the way. But the only thing what I see the most, because at the moment I do two further educations, and as more as I get all the information, I see as more are we behind. And yes, I'm even still question those people, even when I don't get the best grade afterwards. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. We have to disrupt it, because it's old knowledge.
yeah. That's it. That's exactly what it is. It's old knowledge. We need to bring the old to the new. It's just like the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament, right? If they could do the Bible in two different versions, why can't they do the education in two different versions? Like, and be disruptive and ask those questions. I really love this conversation because it's really authentic and transparent. And those are the conversations I love having with my guests. Uh, Bernadette, you have some books out there. We have a couple minutes left, but I want to talk about them. The first aid for employees, and then
Yes.
you have sports coaching. You do so much. I can't even get it into the whole hour here because we're so passionate and full of, getting it out there that, be yourself, be unique self. But for your books, the first aid books, how did that come about? And if we run a few minutes late, we run a few minutes late because I really enjoyed this conversation. So
It comes out of my story, because when I was highly suicide and I had really health challenges, I had nothing to find for me useful. I always knew the psychologist has more problems than me, at least those I found, and I was like, I have to find my own solutions. And that's what was one of many reasons why I want to low threshold, make something low threshold that is affordable, and that also gives you stability, because I met so many people who fear to go to the doctor with with their story, because they didn't believe in the health system, but they believe maybe in spiritual things.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to go there. Otherwise, they said it all the time. I fear that I have to take medicaments and everything else. And I'm like, that's not the right way. Because I'm not appreciating those people's and their beliefs in this system. So I want to create something, and I love to create resilience methods. And actually, the book series, First Ed for the Soul, there are so many. I always invite other co-authors. At the moment, I'm writing one about autistic people,
Okay.
with with the spectrum, and I love it, because they bring so many other points in it, and so many views difference in it, but that's exactly what we need. We all have to open up and know there's so many diversity out there, and it's beautiful that we have this diversity, and nothing is wrong or right, or anyone is wrong or right, nothing, no, but we are diverse. So we are thinking are also diverse. So I love to work with neurodiversity people, because they bring so much other inspiration in there. And that's why I always invite, for the different topics, invite the people who made the challenge. I have one, it's First Ed for with eating disorder, and all the authors in there had eating disorders, except Dr. Harry Merl, but I wanted to have him in because he's from the family therapist. And I
Okay.
created with him back then different methods, so that we created together. But everyone else who is in this book had eating disorders. So it's actually coming from people who know
Yeah.
about their story, and give it to the other ones. And this is, I want to make around, I think, 30 different topics, because for me, I see the benefits in it when I invite other people, and to come and write.
And I like that you bringing the diversity of all the different topics, because if one book doesn't resonate, the next one will, right?
Yes, and sometimes for me it's truly only to give something very cheap, but still that I want to empower the people, because sometimes I have the feeling doctors, or other ones, take away the power. But I think most important thing is that you still have the room, that they know you have the answer, you know how to do it. I
Yeah.
want to support you, I want to nurture you, but at the end, you have to go those steps. No one knows your story. No one can tell you what you have to do except yourself. And this is my experience. And this is one of many again. My motivation is actually rage, because I saw so many people who believe that they know the only truth, but it's not. Everyone has their own truth. And if when people are coming to me with their story, who am I to know something better than their own story? And
Exactly.
this is one of many reasons why I say, okay, I invest in myself to become a psychotherapist, but I will disrupt it, and I know I will disrupt it.
Well, you're going in with rage, Bernadette, so of course you're going to disrupt it.
it's it seems like I'm serious when I don't have this rage. I'm like, I can chill, I can do that. World is nice, but it seems like I need that to go on, to be into action. Yeah.
Well, I love the rage. The rage is passion for me. Like, and we need more of that rage in the world. More walk the talk. Uh, I want to get into the word you gave me, beyond, to describe
Hmm.
yourself. What does that
Hmm.
word beyond mean for you?
It's actually going out of the not only the comfort zone, but beyond what we know. I'm very interested in very old and ancient knowledge, because it's got lost. I don't know how's it in your country, but in our country, everything has to be evidence based. And I'm like, when I see a study, I will question the whole study through. And my teachers know what I'm talking about, because there's one thing what we learned: if you only trust those study what you discorrect. And this is one of many reasons when we lose our own intuition, because the medicine evidence is more important than your own intuition, then is something wrong. And this is my
Yeah.
deepest belief. And I'm very interested, and that's what I meant with beyond, not only beyond my comfort zone, but beyond what I believe it's true. So I'm also listen to many people I don't have to be conform with those people, but I want to know why they know, maybe they know something different than
Yeah.
what I never considered. So to see it on all different views. And I don't have to be, I mean, Austria has a very heavy history. And the topic is still it's still there. It's very, but for me, it's like, okay, when I see it in a neutral way, why do those people see in a different way than me? Because they're actually good people, but they have a different view on something.
Yeah.
So I want to know why. And this why I always mean I have to question it, because sometimes paper or the history books are not correct. So I want to know why.
Yeah.
So I'm disrupting myself actually. And it's not about that I have to believe it or say they are right and I'm wrong, but I want to know it, to get a different feeling and view. What is something what they know what I don't know, or maybe I know something what they don't know, so that we can inspire each other.
Right.
Because
And it's okay to have that healthy debate. People are so scared of debate or questions,
yes,
right? Or
yes,
somebody asking, why do you
yes,
believe that? You know,
yes,
I don't believe that. That doesn't mean that we have to hate each other. It just means have
yes,
an open conversation and say, you know what? This is what I believe. This is what I believe. It's like our stories, right? Nobody can tell us our stories better than ourselves. You know,
yes,
if somebody comes to the table and says, well, that's not how your story was, how dare you question someone's story? You didn't go through their pain. You didn't go through their
exactly,
challenges. So
yes,
that's exactly what you're doing with everything in life is you're disrupting everything by asking questions. And there's nothing wrong with that. When did
no,
we get to a point in society, in the world, in the globe? Because it happens here in Canada too, not just Austria, Bernadette, where people are scared to have a healthy debate about stuff. As soon as
yes,
you don't agree on something, it's you're no longer my friend, you're no longer my family, you're no longer a colleague, you're no longer an employee. You know, we can't have those conversations. People are scared of it, and it's just conversation.
yes. And that's why I even disrupt in my teachings. I challenge my trainees. I challenge them, truly challenge them, and only because to that they go out of their own point, because there are so many views out there, and it's good. We don't learn. That's why I love actually America, because they have it in school, the debate classes. We don't have that, and I
Yeah,
think
we
it's
don't have that
pity.
here either.
It's pity,
Yeah,
because
it
when,
is.
when I don't learn how to debate, then I am always in a conflict field, and they stay in their bubble. No, when I want to appreciate diversity, I have to learn how to debate, and that's what I do actually with my trainees, even when they are 60 plus. They have to, because they're in my classes.
And she comes with rage, so everybody just
I'm serious. Yeah. When they we will do it, because for me it's so important. We have to learn to go into dialogue again. We have to learn to go into discussion, to a healthy discussion. And don't go because is not my opinion. I have to label you, and you are now this and this and this. That's not true. I'm allowed to have a different view than you,
yeah,
because I have a different story than you.
exactly.
So what's wrong about? And there is one thing in conflict management, and it calls agree to disagree. I don't have to overtake your point of view. You don't have to overtake my point of view. This is my view because of this. That's debating, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And
Well,
for
I
some
really want to
reason,
thank you, Bernadette,
yes,
because like, these are topics that we need to start bringing to the table, having open
yes,
discussions without,
yes,
being offended. You know, if you agree or you disagree, that's okay, you know. And that's what I say to everybody. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. But I'm
yes,
not going to change my way to fit in a box and agree to everything that I don't agree with, and that's my choice. That I have a right to that as well. And I wish we had debate in Canada. That's something
yes.
that the US has in our classes. We don't have that in Canada, and you don't have that in Austria,
No,
and we need to bring that. Maybe that is something that we can work on, is getting debate classes into the schools and universities and that as well. So if any of the teachers are listening or watching the replay, if you want debate in your class or your schools, reach out and implement it. It's that easy. Just do it. Try it.
exactly, exactly.
So
It can
I
it
want
can
to.
be so easy. That's the point. It can be so easy if you want. And sometimes I have the feeling they don't want.
The passion's not there. The rage is not there, Bernadette.
Well, let's have more rage for motivation to do something. Whatever motivation people needs. For me, it's rage. Serious. I'm like I'm not even sure if I would do something if I wouldn't have this kind of motivation.
Yeah.
And it works for me.
Yeah. See, for me, it's hothead. Rage, hothead. When I'm really hot-headed, I want answers and I want movement. I don't want to have excuses. I don't want to have delays. I want to know why you're not moving forward. As simple yes, no, another time, another date, something came. These are the things that we need to do. Have open conversations and dialogues with each other.
Yes.
And it's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes. It's okay to do different and be different. And I love having you as a guest today, Bernadette. I had so much fun with you here today.
My
And
pleasure.
you plus us equals unique. I want to really, all the listeners out there, let's we some. Let's do some we
Yes.
some. You
Yes,
know,
exactly.
hashtag we some. So, Bernadette, thank you for coming all the way in from Austria. Taking the time from your classes and all that. I really appreciate that. What final message do you have for everybody today?
Let's be wisdom.
It's that simple, guys. Let's be we some. And hashtag WESOME, we some. That's how we're going to do it here. So I want to thank everybody who tuned in today for Tea Time, and anybody who sent questions and comments. And thank you. I appreciate it. If you send a question during Tea Time and it's not related to the conversation, your question will not be put in. I will answer that question one day. I'm not sure where that's going with the penguin, but thank you for tuning in and listening with Tea Time. Thank you again, Bernadette, for sharing your story and sharing the work that you do. If anybody would like to reach out to you, how could they reach out to you?
I'm everywhere on social media. LinkedIn is always the best version to reach me out. Yes, because I'm just like social media.
Awesome. And that's what we have here as her link tree there. So it's www.linkedin.com/IN/Bernadette Brackner /
Mhm.
and you can reach her there. And check out her books, check out the work that she's doing. And if you'd like to have her as a podcast guest as well, reach out and I can connect you as well. So thank you again, Bernadette, for joining me. We will be
Thank you.
back at 7 p.m. tonight with a returning guest. Zachary Hegman will be back for the third time. I guess he enjoys tea with Miss Liz. So he has a new book out. He's a fantasy author, so he'll be talking about his new book and some updates. And we're going to be talking about education again, because that's what we do, is we talk about education a lot on Tea Time, because we're teaching education awareness one cup of tea at a time. So until then, I'll see everybody at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll do this all over again with a different TEA for you all to enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.